Hey friends, welcome to the 28th episode of the Sunday Knitting Society podcast. My name is Chelsea and I'm a knitter in Oklahoma City. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. I hope you guys had a good 2 weeks. I had a busy 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks ago it was good, but it was busy. I had no time for knitting at all. I was getting home super late every night, leaving super early, which is some extra curricular stuff, and I didn't even have time for running that week. It was crazy. And then I got my COVID booster and my flu shot last Saturday, or I got it like Friday evening or after work, and felt kind of meh on Saturday. Actually, so I got my COVID booster in my left arm, and this has happened to me every time with the COVID boosters or the shots and just all the COVID shots. It literally feels like someone has kicked my arm. Like, thankfully it lasts for like a day and a half, and I will take that over COVID. But it's not real fun. But yeah, so I just took it easy last weekend. Did do some knitting last weekend, and then this week I set myself a ridiculous goal. I will say I did poll you guys, and a lot of you commented and thought I could do it, and we'll talk about it. But I'm gonna blame you guys for that, for me actually doing it. Anyway, we'll talk about that. So I did a run this morning. Excuse me. I did a run this morning. I was supposed to do a 15-mile run, and I had also signed up to run a 5K, and it was at the same place that I do my long runs. And so in my mind, I thought, oh, this is perfect. I will go run 12 miles and then meet up with everybody else and do the 5K and just finish out my 15 miles. The last 3 miles will be really chill. Then I found out the race started at 9 a.m. and I'm a very slow runner. So for me to finish 12 miles was gonna take me about 3 hours. And I still had to like pick up my packet and all that kind of stuff. And so I was realistically gonna have to start running at like 5:30 in the morning. And our sunrise is about 7:30. So that was like 2 hours of running in mostly dark. And I wasn't real thrilled with that. And then I found out a whole bunch of none of my friends were doing the race, that they're the whole reason I signed up for it. So I decided to abandon the race. But one of my friends, the friend I'm doing the Dopey challenge with in January, she got an opportunity someone was watching her kids, so she was able to run really early in the morning, and so we decided to run together at 6 a.m. And she runs way faster than me, so she smoked me, but when we knew that was going to happen, but it was more just the peace of mind of knowing there's somebody else out there who is going to check in on you and make sure you're okay, or call 911 if something happens, you know. And I will say, like, I run around a lake. There were tons of other runners there, other cyclists. Like, I was never alone. And that definitely made me feel better, because I'm not a big fan of running in the dark. I intentionally got this watch because it's got a crazy loud alarm that I accidentally set off in the airport. Thankfully not during security. It was at the gate. I was reaching in my bag and set it off and woke everyone up. But yeah, so running it in the dark is not my favorite. But yeah, there were tons of other runners there, so it felt very much like a community thing. I will say too, I haven't run in other cities, so I don't know, this may be a universal thing, but the runners in OKC are so nice. Like, I can't tell you, almost everyone I ran past would like wave at me and we'd like acknowledge each other. But several of the women I ran past were like, good job, keep going, looking good. And I was just like, thanks. Like, I look terrible. I'm suffering right now, but thank you. It was just really encouraging. Like, I almost had a high five from one of the ladies. Like, we just missed each other. It was just really nice. But the lake I ran around is about 9.5 miles around. I needed to do a 15-mile run. So it required a little bit of math to know I'd do a whole loop and then part of one and run back. I did my math wrong. And I realized this at the 13-mile marker, or mile on my run. There's a landmark that's about 1.5 miles from where I park. And I realized that landmark was more than half a mile away. It was like a full mile away or more. And it was like, I started like trying to do math in my head all of a sudden, and I was frazzled, I was exhausted. But when I hit that 1.5 mile landmark, I was like half a mile from being done with my run. It was not a good feeling of like, I'm already running 15 miles. I already feel like crap. Like my hips hurt, my knees hurt, my feet hurt, my shoulders hurt. I had been looking forward to sitting on my park bench with my ice cold water from my car and my goo. And I was gonna have to walk 1.2 miles after I finished running to get to that point. So that wasn't fun, but I did 16.2 miles instead of 15. Doesn't bode well for my next long run, which is 17 miles. That's not gonna be fun, but I do think the fact that like I didn't do any runs. I did one run in the last 2 weeks. And I think that definitely played into it. And then I did not have a lot of time to do the exercises my physical therapist gave me. That definitely played a big role in it. So I'm gonna try to be very mindful of that. Now I am gonna be on vacation, but thankfully a lot of the exercises that my PT gave me are very portable. Like I can do them in a hotel room, no problem. Like one of the things I use is a little resistance band that weighs probably like 0.2 pounds or something. So probably less than that actually. It probably weighs like 5 grams or something. But so yeah, I'll take that with me and try to be good about that. I'm also gonna be walking a lot, which is gonna be fun. But yeah, so if you can't tell, I'm still sweating. I may not sweat the whole day, but I'm gonna be like flushed the whole day. So that's fun. But yeah, so I'm gonna take it fairly easy today. I do have some things I have to get done because vacation is coming upon me very soon, and I'm in the mad dash to like finish everything and like get all my returns done. And I don't know if anybody else does this. I hope I'm not the only one that does this, but about 2 weeks before I leave on vacation, no matter how well prepared I am for that vacation and how much stuff I already have, I start imagining scenarios where I need a clutch. But like not just the clutches that I have, I need a different clutch that looks fancier or goes with a different outfit. Oh, and I need more dresses. I need to buy fancier dresses. I don't need to buy any of this stuff, but I do. I do buy it. And then I get to enjoy the stress of, I bought it 2 weeks before I leave on vacation. Is it gonna get here in time? So that's the fun game I've been playing this week, is what's gonna get here in time, what's not. I've tried to like tell myself like we are done buying things for vacation. I do not need anything else to take with me on vacation. I didn't need any of these things in the first place, but I bought them. And some of them will probably go back. But my fault. So I hope I'm not the only one that does that. I say that, but I also hope you guys aren't spending money that you don't need to spend. Like I don't wish that upon you, but it's nice to not be the only one that does stupid stuff like that. So anyway. Okay, so I'm not a monogamous knitter. I'm not, but I'm usually like, I have a reasonable number of projects. I'm not the kind of person who typically has like 15 things going. I don't have 15 things going, but I have a lot. I got castonitis last week. I think it was just kind of the, like, I'd been very disciplined in like making sure I was getting to bed on time. I was eating meals regularly. I was like really trying to like protect myself from burnout. And so I was being very mindful of all those things, but that also meant like I couldn't stay up late knitting because I knew I needed to get to sleep. And when all that kind of like the big stressors passed, it was just like, I want to cast on everything. Like, I don't want to work on the things I already have. I want to cast on something new. So I did. I have 3 new projects. One of which I hope to finish this week. That's gonna be fun. So I'm obviously this is not knitted. Well, if you can't tell that, it's not knitted. This is a t-shirt I got from Old Navy, but I really like it. It's too hot. We had a false fall. We're back to summer. I think it's 89 degrees outside. I think it's going to get cool again pretty soon, which is nice. But it's been pretty toasty. And my upstairs in my house gets quite warm, so I have the overhead fan on. If you're hearing that, sorry, I'm not turning it off because otherwise I would just be a puddle. So okay, so which one should we talk? So let's talk about the oldest whip and kind of like reorganize it. Oh. So I did make some progress on this. This is my Alpine Glow. Alpine Bloom. What's the Alpine Glow? Alpine Glow was the rainbow sweater. Not working on that. This is the Alpine Bloom tee. Okay, I did make progress on it. You probably can't tell. It's also on a tiny needle. That I will say, that is the thing that sucks about casting on a whole bunch of sweater whips, is I have a limited number of cords in different lengths, and I've used them all. So I'm now having to knit some things on cords I wouldn't be knitting them on. But this is my Christmas sweater for my mom. I did at least a few rows on this. I think I put like 1 inch into it. Yeah, I put about 1 inch into it. And then I abandoned ship for other things, but I'm loving this. It's really beautiful. So this is knit in, so this is a Caitlin Hunter pattern. The main color was very generously gifted to me. It is Lotta by Queen City Yarns. And this is their ballet slipper colorway. It's just really, really pretty pale pink. And then I've mixed it with Spin Cycle Ghost Ranch. This is the dyed in the wool. And these two blend really well together. I will say it's knitting up at a fairly like solid gauge. The Lotta is quite plump. So I would say it's a heavy sport maybe. It's not a DK, but it is very plump. And so it's gonna be super warm and squishy. It is not gonna be done in time for family photos at the end of October. It's just not. And my mom's cool with that. She found something else to wear. So she's gonna continue, or not, we're gonna keep with our regular plan of giving this to her for Christmas. So that will get more love when I get back from Italy. So I'm trying to get it, and it's in my Petite knit drawstring bag. I think this is the only one I have so far. I really like these bags. I'm kind of excited to see what the next one she comes out with is. Okay. Then the next thing I cast on, because I think, yeah, all the rest of these are totally new. So next one I cast on, I think I did talk about this last time, and I decided to change my colors. So this is the Gallus scarf by Amy Palko, and it is lovely. So my main color is Daylights by Harrisville Tweed, and it's the Chirp colorway. Last video, I pulled this off and smelled it, and I was like, oh, it kind of smells like cedar. Maybe it's one of the like cedar boards I have in here. It's not that. It's bad. It smells like a box of crayons, but not in a good way. And I don't think it's I bought this forever ago. So it's almost certainly the way I've stored it. It's like taken on just a not great smell. And unfortunately, it's pretty pungent. And so like when I'm knitting on it, I'm smelling it. And I could wash it, but then I'd have to rewind it and skein it. And that just, I'm just like, you know, I've got one more stripe of this, I think, and then I'm done. And then it will get a good soak and some very good smelling soap. But my contrast color, I've had this for a while too. I think this was one of their first, maybe second runs of this yarn. So this is Sonder Yarn Co. Sunday Morning 4-ply, and this is the Sunday Kind of Love, I believe is what it is. Yeah, Sunday Kind of Love. Just this really pretty raspberry. And I'm holding this double. So far, one stripe or two stripes in. On the third stripe, I am still in my first balls of both colors. So I'm not gonna need, I have 3 of the raspberry and then 2 of these. I'm probably, I'll get into my second one of this, but, and I might use 2 of this, but I don't think I'm gonna use much beyond that. So, but yeah, I'd planned on doing this in like jewel tones, but the colors I'd picked out really just weren't speaking to me. And so I've had this yarn for a long time. I've had both of these yarns for a long time, and I just can't figure out what to do with them. And so, yeah, I pulled them out and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So it's gonna be like, it's gonna be a giant rectangular scarf. And I'm using one of my Hello Lavender stitch markers to mark the front, so I know where it is. It's so pretty. I got that at Flock. So, and I don't know if I mentioned this last time. I think I did. I'm almost certain I did, but I have it in my Fat Squirrel bag. That is the Poisonous fabric. That's what she named it, is Poisonous. And I love it. I love it. I love all her bags, but like I really, really love this bag. It's one of my favorite. I have another one. I'm not getting up because you'll get to see how stiff I am. But I have another one that's a Christmas bag, and it is like one of my all-time favorite bags. Actually, I don't know if I can pick a favorite. I think I've got 4 of her bags, and I like all of them. So yeah, check out her shop, Fat Squirrel. She's amazing. Okay, I feel like I'm just kind of zooming through these, which is probably good because honestly my phone battery, I ran with it, I didn't charge it. I think my watch battery has like 29%. Yay! I need to charge it today. Okay. Okay, so my next whip is in, this is another super fun bag. This is by Tanny Casey. And I got this at Cake Palooza last year. So, oh, and I was gonna say, I want to say the yarn from my first one, from Queen City. I think they're gonna be at something during Rainback. I should have probably fact checked that before I started this, but my phone is what's recording. So, maybe fact check me and make sure that's accurate. But I think they are vending at one of the events surrounding, I want to say it's Wool and Folk, but I could be wrong. But if they are there, you should totally go check them out, squish their yarn, give it a try. But yeah, so I bought this at Cake Palooza last year and I love it. It is so retro and fun. And it's got these leather handles. There's no zip on it. Holds a ton. And I'm gonna give away what I'm working on, but she has these pockets inside that are like very sturdy and big, and I really like it. So this yarn has been sitting downstairs in my little knitting corner for a while because I couldn't decide what I wanted to make with it. And I think I decided on making, what was it? The Festival Sweater by Petite Knit. But then somebody mentioned that the bobble, so I was gonna do main color and contrast color in a strand of fingering and a strand of mohair, and they basically said, hey, the baubles are kind of fussy, and doing that with mohair is probably not going to be fun. So I kind of put it on the back burner, but I really like this color combo. And then I saw, this is a new pattern by the Petite knitter, not Petite knit, and it's called Mudo. I don't know where my back, I've already woven in my ends for the neckline, but is this not so pretty? Ooh, we just got clouds. It just got real dark and moody. Anyway, so this is called Mudo. It is a Welsh word for migration. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's M-U-D-O, but it's Welsh, so who knows how it's pronounced. I say that I work with a Welshman, and so I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I just think the Welsh language is very confusing to people who don't know it. But then again, so is English. Anyway, I digress. This is so pretty. Honestly, if it weren't for the next whip, this is what I would be working on. Even though it is mohair, which is not my favorite, and it is warm right now. And mohair and heat are not friends. But, and it's also stranded color work, which is not generally my jam, but it was like, it was hitting my dopamine receptors. Honestly, it was making me so happy. And that's all I wanted to work on. And it really took a lot of willpower to work on it and other things. So I'd actually swatched with this, I forgot. I think in the pattern, she has you using a much smaller needle, but I'd actually already swatched with this yarn on a 6 or US 6. And this is with the main color double stranded, and this is with a strand of mohair, with one single strand and a strand of mohair. And I like this fabric better, but I measured it and it almost perfectly hit gauge with the size 6 needle. So that's what I decided to knit mine in. So let's see if I can get this out without making a mess. So my main color is Jamieson and Smith on a cone in this pretty lavender color. Hope that shows up. There's a number in there, but I don't have my readers. So I think it's lavender. You can find it. And then this is Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in unicorn purple, which I 100% bought because of the name. It could have been poo brown, and they could have called it unicorn poo, and I'd have bought it. Maybe, maybe not. But this is my main color. I've been wanting to use these. I bought these completely different times, and then I was looking at them and I was like, oh, those are a nice fit. The reason this one isn't coming on my trip is because it's a cone. Otherwise I would. And then my contrast color, this I bought, this is onion sock yarn. It's like nettle sock yarn, that's what it was. Onion is the brand, and it's nettle sock yarn. I don't know what color it is. There is another ball downstairs with the ball band on it, but stairs right now are not fun, so too bad. This is my main contrast color, and then this is the mohair I'm using, and I believe this is Magpie Feather in the Magpie colorway. I thought these just kind of look good together. So, and I had enough of both of these, so this is entirely stash. But yeah, I just think it's such a pretty pattern, and I like that every repeat changes direction, so it's kind of fun. So I don't know if I can probably try this on. I'm gonna try it on. It's gonna look weird. Okay, I never do this, but I went ahead and wove in my ends for the collar, and it makes it hard to find it. But yay, so pretty. Can't wait to get work. I can't wait for it to be cool enough for me to comfortably work on this. But it will wait. Ooh, oh, hair on my lips. It's fun. All right, so the next project was an impulsive cast on. Actually, it really wasn't. It kind of was, but not like totally impulsive. So when I was packing my original plan, I like dresses. I prefer dresses over pants. And so I'm part of this trip is a work trip. And so I do have to dress formally, not formally, but like business, for a few days of the trip. And then I'm actually staying at a hotel that just got voted the best hotel in the world. And I'm probably gonna feel real out of place there, but it's fine, it's fine. And so I'm probably gonna wear a lot of dresses there too. And the weather, it's gonna be at Lake Como, and the weather's gonna be beautiful. It might rain, I'm okay with that. I hope it's warm enough that I can use their pool, but we'll see. Anyway, so the plan had been to bring a lot of dresses and then bring some of the t-shirts that I'd knitted to wear on top of them. However, when I started looking at everything, all the dresses I was bringing, really only one, my tessellated vest. I'm bringing a lot of like greens and more like warm neutrals. Fun fact about me, when I travel, I like to have a palette. It saves you from like having a navy dress and black shoes. So I don't generally bring black and navy together. I either have like a navy palette or a black palette. I'm very OCD if you haven't figured that out already. So my palette for this is kind of like warm neutrals, greens, some navy, no black. But a lot of the t-shirts I made were really bright colors, or like I have my Tolsta, which is super bright red, like almost orange with cream stripes, and like that doesn't go with my palette. So I am gonna bring my tessellated vest. I have a really cute button down that's got like a frill on the collar, and I think that's gonna look super cute. But then I was like, I need something in this palette to like wear over my dresses. I'm gonna get kicked out of all the churches. Like when you go visit churches, you gotta have your shoulders covered. I'm not gonna have my shoulders covered. So I started looking online, like maybe I can just buy a little t-shirt sweater. They're expensive, and I'd already spent a lot of money, and I really didn't want to buy a sweater. I don't like buying sweaters, I want to make mine. So then I started rummaging through my stash, and I rediscovered some Moondrake yarn that I actually bought quite recently. And it's the Moon Spun. So I have 4 different colors. I have a single skein of 4 different colors of Moon Spun. So it's a sport weight. To me, it really knits up a little bit more like a fingering, but I'm sure it blocks out a little. It does. It blocks out a little bit more like a sport. So I wanted to do a color block, but I kind of couldn't decide what order to put all my colors in. So I did some lazy swatches. Or my other one went. These were actually really fun to do. And if you ever find yourself like with limited amounts of yarn, but you really want to figure out colors, just get some cardboard and wrap your yarn around it. So what's funny is I did a poll and asked people, and everybody kept calling this top color black. It's actually navy. It's just a really dark navy. So I knew I wanted navy by my face, because I do really like it. I like the way navy looks on me. So I kind of played with the different colors and actually ended up doing neither of these. But this is the one that kind of, is that the one? Yeah, this is the one I ended up going with, but I have already tweaked it. So I knew I wanted the gold and the orange together. I really like that. And this was actually the order that Moondrake had it on their website, like where they put the whole palette up. The right side of the palette is a lot of the colors I have. There's one other like dark ochre that she now has. I forget what it's called. So this is navy, this is willow, this is aureate, this is HH orange, and then this is lichen. And that's a lot of my hair. It's a lot, geez. I think I forget what the other new one is, but it's beautiful. And I was very tempted to buy it. I also, side note, she is opening a new studio, or I think she's already in it. Rochelle from Moondrake has a new studio, and it has a retail space in the front that it's not going to be, I think the way she said it is it's not going to be like open all the time like a regular shop, but if you want to shop in person, you can call ahead and go in. And you guys, it's like a 3-minute drive from my work and another 3 minutes to the coffee shop that I love. And it is honestly perfection. Like, I could leave work, I could go get some yarn, I could go get a coffee. It's perfect. It's perfect. It makes me so happy. I cannot wait. I'm giving her, because I know I think she's doing woolen folk. And so I'm kind of like, I'm gonna wait and give her some time to get settled, and then I'm absolutely buying yarn from her. Anyway, so this is the color palette I decided I wanted to go with. I did swatch just because I wanted to make sure. I don't think I even mentioned this. I'm making a fingering weight fingering weight Tolsta tea. So I'd asked you guys, like, do you think I have, like, at the time I started this, I had like 12 days. I was like, do you think I can knit a fingering weight Tolsta tea in 12 days? Resounding yes. You guys all have so much faith in me. I don't know that I have this faith in me. I don't think I'm going to finish it in time. But I decided to start it. I was pretty much on gauge. I think this was pretty close to gauge. Like maybe a stitch or two off. So I decided to start it. I think I actually already started the collar. It's like covered in dog hair. I started the collar and was pulling everybody, and I was really having doubts about this collar, but it does fit. So I chose to do the green because that's going to be my last color. And so I thought it'd just be fun to do a tip of green at the front. And then I have the navy, and then I just got into the gold, or the aureate is the next color. So I have about like 2.5 inches of that. So each stripe, I'm going to try to make the from the collar to the hem about 20 inches, a little more than that. So each stripe is about 4¼ inches. So I've been like, I have it. Yeah, so I've been putting every 10 rows is an inch for me, or roughly. So I've been marking it off. So I'm past the second one now. Oh, I'm at 2 inches. I just put that marker on there. But yeah, I mean, it's stockinette. It's simple. It's not a difficult thing. But I felt like the collar was so loose when I first started it. I was really worried about that. I've already taken it off the needle, or the cord, and put it on barber cord and tried it on, and it lays nice. But yeah, that's part of the reason I hadn't woven my ends yet, because I was actually really worried I made the collar way too loose. And it might still be too loose, but at this point it's not getting fixed till I get back from vacation. But I have this whole weekend. So I've got like a day and a half this weekend, and I think I can get into the third color. So as you can see, I've already changed up the color, so I decided not to do willow. I knew the second color was gonna be like right on my bust, and I didn't really want the lightest color there. I was also just a little bit worried. Sometimes really dark colors do bleed a little bit, and I was like, if I put the darkest and the lightest together, if there's any bleeding, it's going to be obvious. Whereas on this, this is a little bit more bold, so it may not be as noticeable. But I don't think it's going to bleed. It's just in the back of my mind, little caution. So I think what I'm actually going to do is basically put this willow stripe after the HH orange. So hopefully my goal is to get through this. May be an unrealistic goal, but my goal is to get through this orange. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Get through that this weekend, because I'm like, I need to actually try it on again and just see if my yoke is deep enough. But I think I'm like 5 rows from splitting for the sleeves. And I just need to make sure I don't need to do some more rows. But once I split for the sleeves, it's going to go faster because I'm going to have a smaller circumference. And so and I won't be doing increases, so it'll literally just be in the round. So I had to, this is a 37-inch needle, and I don't normally like to knit sweaters on this big of a needle, but that's all I had, because all my other sweaters are taking up my needles. I also I think I misplaced a few needles, and I've gone through, I have like all of my projects in one, mostly all of my projects in one spot, and I went through there and none of my cords that I needed were on any of those projects, so I kind of don't know what happened, but anyway. So that is all my whips. I would really like to work on my Mudo, but I have a week to finish a finger weight t-shirt. So anyway, so I do have a couple acquisitions I forgot to talk about last time. None of them are yarn. One of them is yarn related. And I'm just now realizing I meant to like do a little research on this before I talked about it. Too late. So I actually bought this a couple weeks ago. I think I bought it as a pre-order. I'm just looking to see real quick. Do my research real quick. Oh, that's really pretty. Ooh, sorry. Getting distracted, y'all. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna show it to you because I need to read this. But, so I bought a pattern book, which I don't normally do, but this one really caught my eye. So this is, I'm gonna mispronounce this, is Davar, and this is by Kate Davies and Tom Barr. I will show you what made me buy this, and then there's a lot of, I'm not showing any patterns, so don't worry. I think it's a place. This is so bad. I should have done some reading, like, oh my gosh, look how pretty that is. Ugh. I really want to go. Holy crap, look how cool that is. I need to go here. Sorry, beautiful photography. Oh my gosh. I don't want to show you every picture in here, but goodness, photography is absolutely gorgeous. Man, I need to read through this. Okay, so I will show you the patterns that made me buy this book, but I am already thrilled with this book. I'm trying to find it, sorry guys. Okay, so this is one of them. I don't think I'm showing any, yeah, I'm not showing anything. So these are some mittens, and they have a few different variations. Sorry, get my head out of the way. Hopefully that focus, yeah. So there's like fingerless mitts, and then there's gloves, and they have the kind that I think it'll like pop over. I just thought those were so pretty. And then there's there are a lot of really pretty patterns. Okay, I'm gonna try not to show this. Ah, like how pretty is that? I don't think I would do it in those colors, but I mean, that's so pretty. I think there was one more that I was really, oh, she has a cable hot water bottle cover. Ah! Like, I just learned the joys of a hot water bottle this last winter. Cool. That would be horrible. Oh, and I didn't even notice that. I don't know if I can show you this without showing patterns, so. Okay. It has a little button. You can tell I'm excited about this. I will say that's actually saying something because I don't generally get excited about books. Oh, here's another one. Like, look how cute is this picture. I think Kate Davies is adorable. But yeah. So, I think I've said this before, but I don't often buy pattern books because for the same reason I didn't used to buy CDs. Because inevitably, there's like 1 or 2 songs on a CD that you really like, and the rest you don't care about. And it's kind of usually the same thing for me with books, because it's usually like 1 or 2 patterns that I actually want to knit, and the rest I don't really. This is different. There's at least 3 in here that I really want to make, and honestly, every single one of them is nice. There is a like full-length cable knit blanket that I'm probably not going to be making, just because this looks like a lot of work. So It's beautiful, but I don't see myself making that. But anyway, so highly recommend this. I got this from the Woolly Thistle. I was trying to say something else, but yeah, so highly recommend, even though I don't know what day bar means. I'm pretty sure it's that island, but I will do some more reading on this and be more informed. Okay, so the next thing I got is from a maker that I absolutely love. So it's New Song Quilting. She does improv quilting, which I just recently learned, like in the last couple of years I learned about, and I think it is absolutely beautiful. So she does do custom quilts. They are quite pricey because it's a lot of work. So it's a lot of manpower on her part. That is actually on my list of things to buy once I'm out of debt, is to commission a quilt from her. I think you should check out her Instagram and her website. She has beautiful products, but she also makes smaller format things, and I bought several of hers. So I have a tote bag from her. I bought my mom a pillow for Christmas, but she made crossbody bags. Ah! So I bought one, and like, look at the back. And it's even got like a pink zipper. So yeah, and it's adjustable. It's got like a little pocket in the front. I've got tissues and chapstick in here. I actually wore this for like a week, and then I had to start carrying really big things. And if it matched my stuff I was bringing to Italy, it would be coming with me to Italy, but it doesn't. I just think it's so cheerful. She had all kinds of different ones. She had some that had like checkered work on the pocket. They were just beautiful. So she has a website and she has an Instagram, and she does like updates periodically, so you kind of have to watch for when these things drop. She might still have something. She has like duffel bags. I think the duffel bags were a little out of my price range for now, someday. But they're just so beautiful. Like, she does such a good job. So I highly recommend giving her a look. So that's all for the acquisitions. When I get back from Italy, there's gonna be some acquisitions. So I organize my brain here. So I bought some yarn from Woolly Mammoth Fiber Company, and it's already shipped. It's already left the UK, which is awesome. I found she uses Royal Mail, so it's Emma from the Woolly Mammoth Fibers. I love her yarn. I've bought some, like a lot, actually. So this whole string here is her Causeway yarn, which needs to become a sweater this winter. It's so pretty. But I bought a lot of her yarn before. Something about Royal Mail does not, I always have to have a signature, and it always gets delivered when I'm at work. And so the post office ends up holding it hostage. And it always ends up doing that right before I'm gonna be out of town. And it's like, if you don't get here by this date, we're gonna send it back, which I don't think they would, because then I'd have to pay for shipping. But I didn't want to run into that problem, so I actually had it shipped to work. So that's going to be actually delightful when I come back on a Monday to work after a lovely holiday, and I've got yarn on my desk. So I bought some of her hearth sock, which I got some minis in I did her advent calendar last year, which was beautiful. But I don't think I've actually knit with her hearth sock before. So I bought all hearth sock. So what really got me is she had this sock set that was the woodcutters something. I don't even remember what. Something about woodcutter. Was it just woodcutter sock set maybe? But the base color was like this caramely brown. And it was variegated, and it was so pretty. I would have loved to just buy that skein on its own, but it only came in a sock set, so I bought the sock set. And then I got like a mustard and a green, like an emerald green. I think they're gonna be so pretty. I don't know what I'm gonna make with them. Probably a whole bunch of socks, because that's what they're meant for. So I bought that. That's on its way. Today, while I was running, when I realized my mistake and realized I was gonna have to run further, I made a deal with myself that I could buy some yarn. So Knitting for Olive, if you watch this on Sunday, their sale goes through Sunday night, I believe. But there's a coupon code, I think it's KFO Fall 10, Knitting for Olive Fall 10, gets you 10% off. So I utilize that. They have a color called Poppy Blue, which I think it's a newer color this year, and it is gorgeous. It is so pretty. It's like this perfect cornflower blue. At least that's how it shows up on my monitor, so I hope that's how it shows up in real life. But I know everybody loves their mohair. I don't love mohair. I'm knitting with some of their mohair now. As far as mohair goes, it's lovely. But I knew I didn't want another mohair sweater. Also, like, I was a little bit afraid if I knit a sweater in this blue and it's fuzzy, I might look a little bit like Cookie Monster. So I kind of didn't want that. So I actually bought heavy merino, and I bought a sweaters quantity to make, I think I'm gonna make the Moby sweater, which is a petite knit pattern, and it's a all over cable work. Which, as I'm saying this, I'm like, oh, am I gonna really knit that? I don't love cables. But I could just knit a basic top-down raglan and love it. But it's a worsted weight, and so I feel like this would actually, it would also be just kind of unexpected to have this like all over cable work sweater in this bright blue. I think that'd be fun. And then my favorite self-striping sock dyer, Nomadic Yarns, had an update this weekend, and they looked amazing. So that's actually going to be one of my vacation knits. Is I'm going to knit up this sock yarn, which is Practical Magic, I think is what it's called. Yeah, I just think this looks so fun. So this is her logo. You guys should go. She has an Etsy shop. You should go check her out. She has an Instagram too. But she had a couple more Halloween-y colors. One is called, oh no, shoot, I already forgot the name. Oh, I don't remember now. Agatha. Sorry, I just had a thought. So I don't have kids. I don't really want kids, and I have nieces. I love them to death, but I don't have a strong desire to have children. And it's probably for the best. But I was actually joking with some friends this weekend, because like if I were to have kids, they would be named things like Agatha, and like, which are great names. Like I'm not saying that because they're bad names. They're not real popular names, and I feel like my kids might hate me at school when their name gets called. But I also total side note, total random sidebar. But if I ever get chickens someday, I've already named most of my chickens, and I want to name them after the cardinal virtues. So it'd be prudence, temperance, fortitude, and justice. Can you imagine chickens? A chicken named Fortitude? I just love it. So anyway, so I bought Agatha. Major sidebar. Bought Agatha, and then what was the other one I bought? I don't remember, but you'll see it next time. And they were all, it was Brouhaha or something, or Bruja. I don't know. I'll tell you when it gets here. So those are the acquisitions that are coming. Someone also messaged me after the last podcast and told me about a yarn shop. There are a couple actually that are in Milan, which is where I'll be staying for part of the time when I'm in Italy. And one of them was a bit further out of the city, because like when I'm in Milan, that's the part of the work trip. That's the work part of the trip, and I'm going to be busy. So like I'm not trying to sightsee while I'm there, which I will, but like that's not the point. And I won't have a lot of free time because this conference goes from like the crack of dawn till well past bedtime. So, but we are getting in a little bit before the conference starts. And one of the yarn shops she told me about is like a 15-minute walk from my hotel. So it looks beautiful. I hope it's as beautiful in real life, but I will probably buy a little bit of yarn. I literally had to like rein in my packing so that I could make room for yarn. But so I will have yarn from Italy most likely. I think that's the only yarn shop I'm going to on the trip though, so it's not a yarn trip. But I'll have a lot of stuff waiting for me when I get home, which is exciting. And then, okay, so I'm gonna take 2 projects with me because I do have a lot of time on airplanes and in trains. So this is one of them. I'm gonna knit this pair of socks, and then I'm gonna do another muscle burra, which I'm going to cast it on before I leave because I did not enjoy that. I will say that is, I did decide I am gonna do it the same way. I'm not gonna try to do a provisional cast on. I just think it's easier once, like the starting point for the muscle burra, I don't enjoy. It's very fiddly. It's not something I do often. I've done it once, and so I have to look it up on how to do it. Last time I did this, it was in a airport lounge, and I did not enjoy the process. So I'm going to start it probably Friday and at least get the first bit of it done. And that way I can get going. So I am going to do a 2-color one again, but I want this next one. So my first one was like neon bubblegum pink and a pale pink, which I love. This one I'm going for a darker vibe on it, or like a more subdued vibe. So the leading colors right now are both from Chelsea Luxe, and I think I actually bought both of these at Wool & Folk, so it's actually going to be pretty fitting since I can't go this year, and I'm going to be on my trip around the same time everybody's at Wool & Folk, so that's kind of funny. So this is the first color. This is this beautiful charcoal gray, and it's called Charcoal. And then the second color is part of her Zodiac collection. I don't remember which one it is. Sagittarius. I am not a Sagittarius, but this is what she had at Wool & Folk. I don't know much about the Zodiac, if I'm honest. So I don't even know what time of year a Sagittarius is. But I think these two together would be really pretty. And definitely a lot more subdued. That's just really, I think that would, I'd actually be really interested to see how that knits up. Now the other option is also, I have a few other options. So this is also a Chelsea Luxe yarn, and this is her Chelsea's Coupe colorway. So I think this could be really fun too, to like pair it with that. But I don't love it. Since the other pat I have is pink, I don't love that as much. And then, where was the other one? Then, okay, so I have a couple other options. I have some squish fingering from Farmer's Daughter in elk antler. I thought that could actually be kind of cool. Oh, I kind of actually like that. Ooh, that might be what I do. Because you could, if you wear it on the, like they're both neutrals. And I think they go well together. I don't know, what do you guys think? There is part of me that likes having one side variegated and one side solid, but I do kind of like the double solids. I don't know. So the last one I was thinking about adding, which I don't think I'm going to, for the same pink reason. So this is Swanky Sock from Magpie Fibers, and this was an extra from their Celestial calendar last year, or 2 years ago. I think it was last year. And this is Celestial number 1. So I like this color so much, I bought an extra skein of it. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts? I think, so this is definitely a cooler colored one. I don't know, I'm really liking that. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Because I think this way it could go with anything. Because if you wear this on the outside, you can wear it with your black tone things. This you could wear with your brown tone things. I don't know. Yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna do. I know, this is what I'm gonna do. So, I will probably cast this one on first. Because then there's less time I'm probably gonna spend knitting with this color when I'm on vacation. Just because, I don't know, this color is gonna be harder for me to see. But, so I'll get that started this weekend, assuming I have a free needle. Oh man, I need to finish some stuff. I also still need to finish the sock I'm currently working on, which I left downstairs and I'm not going to get. I'm like almost at the heel, and I'll probably end up taking that on my trip just because I'm not gonna have time to finish it, and it's on like it's using a needle that I would use for these socks. So I'll probably take that, and I'll probably finish up that pair of socks on the way out there because I have a longish layover. But anyway, I will be back. Let's see, probably, I don't know, I was gonna look at my calendar, but it's on my phone. So the weekend of like the 21st, I think, or 22nd, I think it'll be the 22nd. So I'll probably be back then, but it just depends on how hard I get hit by jet lag. I generally don't have loads of jet lag. I almost don't have any when I fly east. When I fly west, it does hit me quite hard. And part of that's probably also just because I try to stay awake for most of that flight, and it's a longer flight. So we'll see how it ends up going. But yeah, so I will try to take some video on my trip and have that to show next time. I am not tech savvy, if you guys haven't figured that out already. I don't know how to add music to videos. If anybody has any tips for me, I would love. I don't want to just show you a collection of like random photos and videos with no music behind them. But like, I don't know how to do that. At one point I did, but now I can't figure it out. I use iMovie to edit because I do very little editing. I've looked into maybe getting like Adobe. I don't remember what it's called. Something, but you have to pay for that, and it looks a lot more tricky and complicated. So I kind of need to figure out how to use it first. But I'm never gonna have highly produced videos. That is, if you're looking for that, you are looking in the wrong place. So, but yeah, if you guys have any tricks for that, let me know. But I will try to figure that out. But I will also try to post things on Instagram as they happen. So if you want to follow along with me in Italy, get to see the crazy, fantastic hotel I'm staying at in Lake Como. Oh man, it's gonna be so nice. I'm glad I'm ending my vacation with that trip, or that hotel, just because it seems really relaxing and I'm here for it. So, and I think I'll need that towards the end of the trip because it's gonna be a fairly long one for me. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great couple weeks. I hope you get lots of time for knitting, for making, and for rest. But I will see you guys back. If you're going to Rhinebeck, have so much fun. I'm a little jealous, but thankfully I have another trip to help with that. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to go next year, but that is a whole year away. So, but yeah, I hope you guys have fun and have a great couple of weeks. I will see you back after Italy. Bye.